Hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take. Hot take. The three of us
My voice
cannot
just cracked.
harmonize.
Hot
All right.
take.
It's time to stir the pot. Listen, we know This Is Us fans have a lot of feelings about the show, and we love seeing the debates, the theories, and of course, the hot takes that come out of it.
So we combed through social media and our inbox, and you guys did not hold back. Some of these are spicy.
Very spicy. Let's get into it. Agree, disagree, or somewhere in between. Here are some of your hottest takes about This Is Us.
Okay. So Carmela G says, I think Randall was probably born at least a day before he was brought to the hospital. Well, I guess so, yeah. And even Randall points that out in one of the episodes, which would make him number one.
We were just talking about
I made this hot take a couple of episodes ago.
Did you really?
And I felt the two of you bristle because I was getting in your family business.
No.
But it's true.
I think in the order in which he came to the family, he's number 3. I think he's the oldest. But he does refer to Kev as like big brother sometimes.
That's right.
Well,
Which is because, I don't know, he's bigger than me.
And let's just say, I'm just going to say hot take. That's the source of all of their problems. All right, who's next?
Go ahead.
In real life, Kate and Toby never, that's how it's spelled if you're watching, never would have gotten divorced. They were made for each other and would have found the groove.
This is interesting. So because we had a inkling, like you didn't know for sure whether or not the marriage was going to go in perpetuity, but we knew that we were seeing all these different walks of life. And I remember talking to you, you're like, eventually somebody had to get divorced.
Yeah.
And you kind of figured that it was going to be you guys, right?
statistically,
Yeah.
someone would.
Yeah.
Were you okay? In terms of how you felt as the storyline play out, were you happy, sad, neither?
I mean, of course it's sad. It certainly, it did make things awkward for me and Chrissy.
Did it?
Yeah, it felt weird. Like it felt,
Wow.
yeah, it felt, you could feel the tension of the situation. As an actor, happy for it.
Sure.
Challenging, exciting, emotional, ups and downs. But yeah, I guess that hot take falls apart in the first 3 words, in real life.
Let me do Cairo W. I'm reading through a tree, so if I mess up, let me know. Music choir teacher here. My hot take is on Kate's storyline about becoming a teacher, writing an international curriculum that should never happen in real life. Music teachers are teachers and train just as hard and for just as long as any other teacher. Philip was 100% correct that she was unqualified to teach.
Okay.
That is a hot take!
It's hot.
Oh, that one.
Piping hot.
You said it in the intro, Mandy. Some of these are spicy. Now I'm on.
You know what Kira sounds like? Kira, which please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing.
Hot take. Two ways to say that name.
The way that people will have you ever watched something with friends of yours who are not in the business and they'll see like a show or whatnot and they'll be like, I could do that.
Oh, yeah.
That's basically what Kira is saying right now. She's like, you think you're just going to come in and do what I do?
Yeah.
I've trained for years to do this.
Yeah, that's right.
Props.
So,
Understand
in
that.
real life, I think you're absolutely right.
We
appreciate you, Kira.
Can we see some more hot takes?
I
please?
love this. Go ahead.
Madison's character completely changed when she found out she was pregnant. She started off being this funny, quirky character, a bit of a hot mess, and all of a sudden she turned normal, borderline boring. I wish they kept her quirkiness throughout the show. That is a hot take!
Hot take.
Damn.
Good God. Well, I will say I understand what you mean, but I will also say that parenthood makes us all pretty boring.
It does. The vitriol of she was actually cool. Now
And then
she sucks.
borderline.
Yeah, which is what I'm going to be spending the rest of my life telling my kids.
But you know what?
No!
You made me borderline boring.
I had a motorcycle.
That's
Your
what,
mother and I used to make love in exotic places. Now look at us, covered in hummus.
it's one
Covered
of
in hummus.
It's the thing that happens as you get older. You guys tell me how you clock this. The divide between your single friends and your married friends, where your single friends are like, come on, let's go out to this place. It's going to be really cool. You're like, no, I can't.
No.
I can't take care of these kids.
Yeah. But there's a secret part of me that blames it on the kids, but it's also like, that place is not going to be cool.
And I'm glad I have this excuse.
Yeah. And you know what? It's 8:45. Good night.
Let me read this next one here because you have a better angle. I don't have to read around the tree.
You got it.
All right. This is Sarah J. My hot take is that Jack would have never abandoned his brother Nicky after the Vietnam situation. And he wouldn't have lied to his mother or family about Nicky's death. Oh. The way Jack handled the entire Nicky situation was so out of character. Hot take.
Hot take.
Sarah J., first of all, you do not come into this house and talk about Jack Pearson. All right, there's a hot take on your hot take.
I think the thing about Jack Pearson is that he's like an onion. Like we're constantly finding out things about him. And I think he did keep things close to the vest.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So when she says that it's out of character, I've seen a number of enough incidents with Jack and Rebecca where he decided to keep feelings or information to himself to say that I'm going to push back on that one a little bit.
Yeah. I'll push back on that too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I'm not entirely sure that I agree with that.
I think Jack is so beloved, and understandably and necessarily so, that when we see him do things that feel like aren't loving or like in character with somebody who we love, I think it makes us bristle.
Yeah.
While we're all human beings and we all have all these different colors, and you just love them anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is. That's my take.
I've kind of scanned this next one. It's a hopeful one, but I don't really see a hot take in it. So I'll read it. I'll read it, and if there's no hot take, we will accept the comment and move on to the next one. I wish we could have seen more of Miguel and Rebecca's story and seeing them fall in love years later after Jack passed away. I obviously love that Jack and Rebecca's relationship is
the relationship.
So special and a part of the show. However, as the show went on, I came to appreciate Miguel and all he did for the Pearsons. Yeah. I enjoyed seeing him take care of Rebecca as she got older and the Alzheimer's took effect. I loved his episode in season 6. Bravo. It made me cry. He became one of my favorites early on. I just wish we could have seen more of him and even more of Rebecca and Miguel's story.
Stephanie's a Brit. Look at how she spells favorites.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if that's such a crazy hot take. I feel like I've heard that from people.
I mean, I guess we saw some of it, but she would have liked to have seen
the only
more.
hot take I see in there is her saying he became one of my favorites early on.
Yeah, that's a hot take.
Get out of here, hot takes.
Well, I'll say this. I don't know if we're going to see one, but like Miguel, some of the things that I responded to on Instagram. Yeah. Well, there was a brother who was like, I will never like Miguel.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Jack had a tendency to run away from his traumas, issues. Okay. His parents, his brother, etc. Each kid inherited that in their own way, whether that be running or clinging desperately to save the relationship to avoid pain. That was the family addiction, not alcohol, weight issues like Kevin was trying to apply in the family therapy episode. Ooh, upside down face.
Hot take.
That was the family addiction.
Run away from trauma.
Yes. This might not be as much a hot take as just a little bit of preaching going on. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that because all of the quote unquote addictions are not the problem.
Sure.
Yeah. Addictions are attempted solutions.
Sure.
To a problem.
Right.
And the problem was this thing that they were all kind of equally running from in one way or another.
She kind of just nailed the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think also it is human nature to run from trauma issues.
Yes.
I think one of the reasons why we have therapy is to be able to face and deal in a healthy way with the traumas that are affecting and impacting you in your everyday life, right? Yes. I've had conversations with friends, and I take this for granted because as an actor, we tend to be a bit more introspective, where a friend of mine said literally to me, he's like, why would I want to dig that stuff up?
Yeah.
That would be painful. I don't want to deal with that. That stuff is done.
Yeah.
And meaning it and thinking that it's actually done, right? Like most of us just want to put one foot in front of the other and sort of keep it moving. Right. It's not about living necessarily your best life. It's like, this is the life I got to live. Let me just keep living it.
Yeah.
Right? It hurts.
Yep.
To face shit.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
And so I think that is the show, is life.
It's the reason why the horror genre is eternally popular. The metaphor of any horror movie is being chased by some kind of trauma, some horror, some demon, some devil, some killer, and you can run as much as you want.
Eventually, you're gonna have to face that
turn
shit.
And fight.
Come on, bro.
You got to turn and fight it. Amanda S.
What?
Hot take. There should have been a scene where we see Jack propose to Rebecca.
I disagree.
I mean,
Why?
do we not?
Hot take on a hot
Do we not?
take.
I take it.
There's no proposal?
No.
With all the grand gestures that have transpired, we never see
Yeah,
like
but
the
I'm
actual.
like, I feel like it's fine. We saw there was enough
Hot take.
between them that we witnessed throughout the course of the show.
Take that, Amanda. Rebecca says.
There you go. That's it. Let's see. Sal Marina Trat says,
You got it?
I don't like the fact that Sophie ended up with Kevin because he finally got his shit together. She deserved better, and it felt too predictable and easy.
Hot
take. Okay, well, here's the secret. We didn't know if it was going to be with Sophie or not.
Yeah.
She got a show going on in Canada.
Listen, it all depends on Sophie's availability.
Yeah.
On her shoot schedule.
Was Alex available?
Was Alex available?
Yeah.
I've heard this before. I've heard like it would have been interesting to see him and Madison figure it out. They actually have children together and a reason to sort of do it.
Yeah.
The only thing I say to that is just because you had the kids, necessarily, if you weren't in a relationship before that was loving and full,
Yeah.
I don't know if the kids are the reason to
Oh man.
keep it going.
Especially since Madison became so boring.
Kevin just couldn't do that to himself.
Yeah.
He needed somebody not so boring.
Listen, is it predictable? Is it whatever? Sure, maybe.
But sometimes so is life.
It is satisfying.
Yeah.
For me as a viewer, not as a person on the show, as a viewer, I wanted to see that
That's right.
union.
Yeah.
That's right.
It made me feel good.
Yeah.
I like feeling good.
That's
I'm
right.
taking it.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take.